My name's Paul Church from Clarity here in the UK. Welcome to another episode of Groovi Tuesday. I can see we have Clive already in the room over on our YouTube page, so good morning, Clive. I can see the eyes are coming in now, and we'll wait for a few more chats. Mo's normally next in the chat window, so I wonder whether Mo's going to be the next one along. How's everybody doing? There we go. Good morning, Mo. All good, thank you. That should be my all clear from Sue. Sound is clear. The lovely Sue is in the room with you as well. There we have lovely Bernie, Alison. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. That was a bit back to front, wasn't it? What's the weather like with everybody today? It's sort of very windy down here in Edenbridge in Kent. And I believe it's probably, well, I believe, according to the weather reports, I think it's windy all round, isn't it? So who else have got? We've got lovely Jayne in the room. Josie, good morning. Morning, Colin as well. Anja, Helen, Pat, Patricia. A little blowy. Cloudy and calm at the moment in Ripon. Raining with Josie Higgins. Blustery and bleak, says Sue downstairs. It's probably a bit more blustery up here on the first floor at Clarity Towers. So I hope everybody's well. Hope everybody's staying safe. It's very windy in Somerset. Joanne is multitasking. She's watching whilst working. Ha ha ha. So it's lovely to have your company once again. Hope everybody's well. And looking forward to the next hour. Got some sneaky peeks coming up for you as well. And also some back in stock information. So did anybody from the US, so Mo's just asking, did anybody watch the clip yesterday in the USA? Let me just get rid of that little pop-up while that's appearing. Get rid of that one. Windy in North Cornwall. Yeah, here we go. Everybody's coming in. Pull up a chair. Close the doors. Close the windows. Maybe draw the curtains. Don't need to worry what's going on outside, do we? So, oh, Jill's got it all going on this morning. She's got drizzling, sunny, windy in the Berkshire Downs, but the lilac below her window is bursting into flowers, so that's a bonus. There we go. So yeah, lots to talk to you about this week, and we're going to continue on using Jayne Nestorenko's lovely floral sampler plate. We're going to build up our levels of white work, and yeah, really looking forward to today. This is my sort of downtime every week. For an hour or so. So while everyone's putting up a chair, should we have a look at what we've been looking at over the past few weeks? So this is the lovely Jayne Nestorenko A4 floral sampler. Great designs and plate for learning all your different techniques, from your colouring in to your white work to your shading, and just exquisite pieces of artwork that will carry you throughout the year. Spring season, autumn, winter. Really, really nice. And we can just take elements of it. We can use the squares as formations for other designs that we have in our stash as well. I wonder whether Mr. Ken is loitering in that country lane again today. I know he's probably definitely struggling with his signal today if it's that windy. And we're taking our inspiration from a piece of artwork that Karen Jackson has created, because I thought this was a really lovely way of learning the lovely white work skills and just building up. I've got to stop saying the different layers of white work. And as with what I've explained previously, it's one of those processes where you have to learn to be patient. And if you learn to be patient when you're working with the white work process, then it definitely pays dividends. So yeah, this is a perfect opportunity that we can go back and we can look at. And there he goes again. I've got to stop it. The more I know that I'm saying it, the more I'm saying it, if that makes sense. Let me have a slurp of coffee. So, very hot. Very, very hot. So who was in the shack with Barb yesterday? Those lovely fashion characters. They were amazing. Sort of just a sort of a squiggle, and all of a sudden, depending how thin or how wide the squiggles were, depends on sort of like the shape of the body, the tone of the body, the little legs, the arms, the poses, the hats, the fascinators. So clever how you can just take. And last Thursday, I mean, Gracie does the Thursday evenings with Barb from New York, and I always watch it back on the Friday morning. And those little blobs of paint, and also how those blobs of paint turn into characters just by putting a little head on, little leg, little feet, and the little dog. Really, really clever. So if you missed out, it keeps popping up. I don't know why it's popping up. Anyway, I'll ignore it. It's amazing how the imagination can work, isn't it? When you look at something, and if I suppose if you'd looked at those blobs of colour, you wouldn't have thought that that's what they would turn out to be. And it's the same with the lovely squiggles, that you can take that lovely filigree squiggle and turn it into, I know Barb did it as a tree one year, but just sort of building up the designs and changing whether you go thin at the top, go out, come in, so and then just introducing that little line just to give it the shape of the body. So clever. Anyway, so let's have a look at what we've been doing over the past few weeks. We've got plenty of people in the room this morning. We've got 85 of you. Good morning. Hope it's not too crowded. So let's have a look where we've been going. So if I bring in my piece of artwork that I've been working on, I'm going to zoom in now. I'm going to pop that next to it. Let's just pop this to one side. Which way? Oh, that wind is really, I can hear, can you hear that wind howling outside? Oh, goodness me. So what we started off doing was we took the dahlia from the design plate and we traced it out with the various different size tools. So we started off with the number 1, the number 2, and then the number 3 and the number 4. And for those of our friends that are familiar with the Groovi system, the Groovi tools have different size balls on the end of them. And the larger the ball, it doesn't press into the groove as much on our Groovi plate. So therefore, what happens as we're tracing out our design, then we get lighter line art. So this one was done with the number 1, which is one that I tend to go for generally if I'm tracing out and introducing colour. Then we have the number 2 tool to give us a softer line. Then the number 3, and depending on the design, or not the design, depending on your eyesight and your light in the room, then you could go with the number 4. But we can see here it's very, very faint. Okay, and then so this is looking at it from the front, and then on the back we've started to introduce various layers of white work. And so far we've done 2 layers with the 6mm ball tool, which is the largest of the Pergamano tools. Then we also did 2 layers using the 4.5, which is back in stock. And now what we're going to do, we're going to drop down for today's session, and we're going to go for the Freemill Ble tool. So for those of our friends at home that are sort of going on that bus journey, as Barb describes it, and you're comfortable using the wooden tools, then maybe this is a perfect opportunity to have a look at taking it to that next step. I wouldn't say next level, but it's that sort of next level of progression. If you're getting to really get into grips with your white work. And it sort of ties in with a little party we're having over on the pergamano.com website. Who knows about the Pergamano party? Come on, hands up if you do. If you sign up to our e-shots that we send out to you, telling you about TV shows, if you're on our social media pages, so on Clarity Worldwide, Groovi Worldwide, Pergamano Worldwide, then you'll know that yesterday we kicked off a Pergamano party with up to 75% off selected products over there. Now, it is a separate website to the Clarity Craft website. So, but obviously we own Pergamano, and Pergamano has that fantastic sort of international brand and is very popular in Japan, Australia, New Zealand, the States, and it was established worldwide. So when we purchased Pergamano, we purchased the brand, we purchased the website, but the website still stands alone in its own right. So we thought, because we're starting to get some of the tools back in stock, and because it's April, why not have a party? So if you belong to the Clarity Craft clubs, your discount doesn't work over there because it is a separate, I think the way Barb described it, Clarity Stamp is sort of like a department store, and what Pergamano is like a concession. So if you went into, I was going to say Debenhams, but they don't exist anymore, but sort of like a Debenhams, and you go in there and you've got all your different brands in there, your Molten Browns and stuff like that. But you can't use your sort of loyalty card. If you had a loyalty card for Molten Brown, for example, you can't use that in Debenhams, but you can use it in Molten Brown shop. So, so there's up to 75% on some items on the website. It's like a daily deal going on. And then it's 30%, I think 30% off on all of the Pergamano tools. So, so it's a perfect opportunity. If you maybe you think, oh, in a month's time, I'll be ready to step it up a little bit. What did Hannah say? I'm saying, unfortunately, the gift cards don't work either. It's the same sort of process, isn't it? But it didn't stop Helen from buying. So, so I'm just going to sort of digress slightly. Just let me just show you. I've got my iPad with me today, and I thought we'd just have a little delve into the Pergamano website. Hopefully, I've got enough chuff in here to bring that in. I'm sure that should be charging. Is it charging? Let me just unplug, plug it back in. It was charging earlier. I've probably got a Duff extension lead. No, there we go. It's chuffing. It's charging. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in on the overhead just so we can have a look. So let me just zoom in, and we're going to come in. Oh, helps if I go on the overhead, doesn't it? So let's have a look. Okay. So Pergamano party. And then you scroll down, we've got Groovi Tuesday. We've got our tools, we've got the multi-needle, we've got accessories, you've got designs from Tina, inspiration gallery. Now the inspiration gallery, we're in a process of going through and revamping that. But for example, if I go in there like so, if it's going to load for me, there we go. So you can see we've started to build the inspiration gallery. So you've got some lovely perforating tools there. Let's have a look. If we go into this one, this is quite clever. He says, I was in here earlier. Come on. It's my internet connection in here. Still loading. Still, it's like watching paint dries. It's because I'm in this room and it's got soundproof on there. Let's try the next one. There we go. So, for example, you've got some lovely pieces, but see how those little dots appear? If I click on that, it tells me what it is has been used. So we've got clear parchment, we've got Pico V tool or the ankle tool on there. So we're sort of building up, and we're going to start over coming months, build up that. But if I go to, let's go back up to, if I put embossing tools, search, there we go. So we've got various different tools in there. So look, 6mm Pergamano tool, super duper price. Isn't that good? So all you need to do is head over to the pergamano.com website and take advantage of that Pergamano party. Right, we'll have a look at something else in a minute on there. Okay, so maybe you want to go for the pink mat. Just saying. Okay, so we've looked at the 6mm ball tool, we've looked at the 4.5, and we're now going to look at the Freemill ball tool. And what we've been doing, we've been slowly building up, and I've been keeping a little ready reckoner of how many layers I put on. Now for this layer, what I'm going to do, I'm definitely going to bring in, when it comes to whitework, for me, this is my best friend. This is my safety net, so to speak. So I'm going to pop that down on my workspace, and then we're going to bring that in, and I'm going to take my Groovi guard, and I put a little pencil mark here to show that this is where I need to start every time. And what I'm doing is I'm working in a clockwise direction. So I start here, work all the way around, and then I can mark off to say I've done a layer. So let's start with the number 1 traced out image first. Okay, got my glasses back with my new lenses. Ooh, goodness me, that's much better. And all we're doing is we're just gently flicking. So I'm starting at the tip of the petal. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Okay. I'll get used to these glasses as well. Zoom in. Whee. Bring that down a little bit. There we go. How much is it on the Pergamano website, Sue? $13.99. And, oh, what I forgot to mention, which is sort of like a Brucey bonus. Hang on, let me put this side to one side. If, as it's a party, normally you'd go to a party and you'd bring a gift, but if you come to our Pergamano party, we give you a gift. So designed by the lovely Jazz, these are our lovely baby plates. So if you spend £40, then we'll automatically pop this in your basket when we're packing your order. And if you spend £60 in one transaction, you'll get both. So we've got Let's Celebrate and it's party time. So £40 in one transaction and you'll get this one for free. We'll just pop it in your package. And if you spend £60, then you'll get both of them. Aren't they clever? Jazz, her artwork is beautiful. And I had an email just from Jayne. I had an email from Jayne just before I came into the studio to set up that these would be fantastic background plates. So I'll have a little word with Jazz later. So yeah, so 2 free plates, and there were $5.99 each. So Brucey bonus, come and join the party. Okay, put my goggles back on. Okay, right. So number 3 mil ball tool, and we're just flicking inwards. Can you see the difference? Yeah, you can, can't you? start to see the difference. Because we've let it rest, I mean, this is, for me, this is extreme patience when it comes to letting your work rest. But it definitely pays off, and it definitely makes a difference to your artwork. Who else is following on a week by week basis? Are you letting it rest for the same period of time? Or are you sort of just leaving it 24 hours and then going back in? Everyone's gone quiet in the room. I hope you haven't all jumped over to the Gano Party and left me. Okay, sorry, Pat, I didn't see your question. How to measure which one you have? Okay, so let's have a looking here. So I have got this is the 1.2. Let me just have a look at X. Let me just check and compare. So I haven't got the new one just yet. But I think it's to do with, I just need to try. Bear with it, so I haven't disappeared, I'm still here. Okay. They're all watching. Okay. Angela's got itchy fingers. You can get some cream for that, Angela. Right, okay. So I've got the 1.2. And that is, I'm just measuring it with my ruler. So the 1.2 is about 0.5 centimetre. And the 1 is just under 0.5 centimetre. Excuse me. So what I did, I just measured the sizing we inherited from Pergamano. So the space, the measurement from the outer sides of the tool, okay, is for the largest one is 0.5 centimetre. Okay. For the medium size one, it is 0.4 centimetre. And I haven't got the new one in because we're just waiting for I think they're due in today, I think. So I know that will be even smaller. Okay, so back to our Freemill. Where did I get to? Here we go. I can definitely see where I stopped mid-flow. So I'm just going in. But you can see now how it's definitely starting to build up, can't you? Where I've been. I get carried away with this now. Not carried away, I'm sort of enjoying that process. Pat's ready to party. Everyone should be ready to party over on the Pergamano website. Especially with the dismal weather outside as well. Okay. Yeah, can you see the difference as I'm starting to go around? I mean, you can definitely see a difference from this side compared to this side, can't you? So I keep getting sidetracked by trying to read the messages as well. So we're just going to go around, and so what we're doing is we're introducing the next layer. So let me ask some of our friends in the room, how many layers would you do? Okay. How many layers of white work? Now, I have my thoughts on this, which I will give, but let's see some other thoughts on the matter. Because I'm no expert. I watch the experts and I learn myself. Jayne sitting on the fence. So Susan says 4. Jayne says as many as it takes. That would be my answer, Jayne, but I would have said it slightly differently. But the end result is the same. As many as it takes. Now, my thoughts on the matter. So Josie would do between 5 and 8. Angela has only ever done 4 or 5. Karen's done 10. Bernie's never counted and agrees with Jayne. Lynn agrees with Jayne. Julie's with Jayne. Yeah, I know. So my thoughts on that is in line with Jayne. Olivia 5 or 6. Clive on my last project 7 layers over a week. So my response would be that depending on the line art I've used, whether I've used the number 1, the number 2, the number 3, or the number 4. So for example, I may have to do 8 to 10 layers on this one because I've got that crisp line to counteract, whereas on this one it may be 6 to 8 layers. And so the lighter the lines around the outside, for me, I would go, it would take less layers to achieve that. That's my thoughts on it anyway. But exactly, it's a roundabout way. It's a roundabout way of saying the same as what Jayne said, as many as it takes. Great answer. Love that. I suppose it is, isn't it? Depends on the size of the area you're working within, the tool that you've traced out with, how white do you want it to be? Do you want sort of like a soft white, a bright white? So not a bright white, I mean, but you know what I mean. So poor Ken is probably down some country lane, pacing backwards and forwards in the wind, trying to get a signal. And he's going to miss out on the sneaky peek. I know he loves a good old sneaky peek. That wind is really strong outside. Can you hear it? Helen's too impatient for loads of layers. I'm totally with you. So for me, this is where, by doing this on Groovi Tuesday, it's one of those processes that you have to, don't you? Or for me, I do. So, yeah. Goodness me. I've been waffling too much, haven't I? I have been waffling. So I'm going to do 1 layer on this one first with the... Okay, so question for everybody in the room. I would say everyone's got to answer, but I can just imagine the noise if you was all in the room. Okay, so So my question to all my good friends at home or out and about, wherever you are, when I've completed this layer, when I come back to the stem of the flower, do we want to see what's back in stock, or do we want a sneaky peek first? Sue, I don't know what Sue Carpenter. Yes, I don't know what the yes was. Yes, you want to see. So we've got it's either a sneaky peek or back in stock. I'm right. I'm not looking at that. I'm going to look up in a minute, and I'll have a look at the consensus. But I have a feeling. I know you all so well. There's a song there, isn't there? Oh dear. I will show you both, but it's what you want to. What do you want to see first? I'm excited about both. I really am. Almost there. How slow can I go to get to the stalk? Hang on, what's Sue telling me? Oh, hang on. The phone doesn't recognise me with my glasses on. What? Take my glasses off. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Sue is saying nobody wants to see anything. You just want to carry on with your white work. Okay. I just hear Sue laughing downstairs. She didn't really. Sue said that the overall consensus, which I knew it would be the sneaky peek. So I'm going to be mean. I'm going to be a mean Paul, and I'm going to show you the back in stock first. Can you hear that noise? Hang on, bring the. Oh, don't know my head. Where is it? It's like a. Oh, that's a terrible shot. I'm trying to get the microphone closer. When I was coming around to this one on my first couple of layers, I went into heavy. So what it's doing, the parchment, you can see how it's buckling slightly. Okay. So I'm not really delaying. I am. Okay. Almost there. Oh no, oh, hang on. We'll go up a bit further on this one. It's because you're distracting me. Oh, Jayne's got rain. Keep it up there, Jayne. Don't want any rain down here. Right. Okay. Now that I'm on the smaller ball tool, this is a Freemill, I can get into those areas as well, which I couldn't really get into with the larger ball tools. So let's have a look. Oh, goodness me. You can see the difference, can't you? Wow. Even I'm impressed with that. Even Sue's always on the ball tool. Oh, right. Okay. Let's do the sneaky peek then. Right, let me I'm going to just pop that down there so I can get the the perspective on the overhead. So where are we now? Oh, I know. Well, I think I know where I am. I'm in Edenbridge. I'm in Kent, and it's a Tuesday. Groovi Tuesday is always a good reminder of the day of the week. Okay, so let's pop that to one side. Look at that. I'm really impressed with that. Doesn't it? Wow. That's even surprised me. Goodness. See, a little bit of patience. That definitely pays off, doesn't it? Wow. Okay, all right. So, currently got the Gano Party going on. 30% across the website and up to 75%, excuse me, on certain items. And then this Thursday would normally be, well, wouldn't know it. This Thursday, the Gano show on Create and Craft, which is at 11 and 3. And somebody dropped out of a headliner on TV, which is a new name for a new and exclusive. So they asked if we could help out. So I'm actually doing 3 hours on Thursday, 8 a.m., 12 p.m. and 4 p.m. Okay. And if you tuned in on Sunday to watch Barbara with the lovely geisha, and you had the lovely floral sprays on there as well, the Chinese lanterns, what else is on that? The Enzos and all that lovely sort of oriental theme design. But the flowers could be used obviously throughout the year because they're flowers. Okay, so on Thursday, I'm going on with the Groovi version of the floral sprays. So some of our friends at home may already be familiar with the designs. So we've got Barb's Chinese lantern. These are A6 plates, the ginkgo that you drew together in the shack. Then we now have the new star flower. So the star flower was a design that Barb drew for the summer retreat, and it was released in stamp form last year. And now we have it in an A6 Groovi plate, and it also comes with a spacer, which I'll show you in a bit. The daffodil, designed by Tina, the floral spray, then we've got the meadow flowers, we've got the lovely poppies, the wildflowers, and then there were 2 embellishment plates that were designed to work with. So this one was designed to work with the floral spray, and this one was designed to work with the Chinese lantern. So you've got the reeds, the dragonflies, and the way in which they were designed were, so for example, I could take this plate, draw out the stems, and replace the flower heads with the butterflies. Okay, that's the way that they were designed to work. And it was the same for, let me just pop that one back in so I don't lose it. And it was the same for the Chinese lanterns. So you take the Chinese lanterns and the flower heads are replaced by the dragonflies. Okay, but beautiful designs in their own right. So let me just pop that one. I know, sorry, I'm backwards and forwards, but if I don't put it back, I'm going to lose it. So Starflower is the new one. And then we have the lovely spacer plate. So if you're working with the starter kit, then you've got Where Flowers Bloom, So Does Hope. Then you've got the dragonfly spacer. You have the butterfly spacer that goes with the floral spray. And we have a new one called Flowers Are Like Friends. They bring colour to your world. So this is a new spacer that will accompany the lovely star flower. Okay. And then also on the show, we've got the Japanese symbols and the butterfly spacer as well. And I thought I would also bring into play the lovely geisha and the water house as well. Loved this geisha. Is one of my all-time favorite designs from Clarity. And if you go to, let me just bring it up. Hang on. Bear with. Sorry for the black. Let me bring in a piece of artwork. There's a sneaky peek of a piece of artwork that was created by lovely Jayne. Okay, so let me go to the Clarity website. Okay, so if I bring in the Clarity website, so if you go to As Seen on TV, okay, and you scroll down, so you have the lovely As Seen on TV, the recent editions. So if I go into the Geisha, underneath there is lots and lots of artwork. Just click on that one, and as you click on, the image changes. And if you've got an iPhone, like a tablet, where you can increase the size, then you can have a look at it in a bit more detail. So you can see it just goes on and on and on and on. And then if I go back, and let's go to the Geisha. So it's the same. You've got some lovely artwork under there as well. So it's not showing on the schedule yet for Crack and Craft for an hour off. So it's 8, 12, and 4. Sometimes it takes a little bit of a delay to come through. So let's have a look at some inspiration of the new star flower from the design team. So this is a piece created by Jayne, using that lovely little spacer plate. That's lovely, really. And Jayne's actually picot cut and layered those up. Then we've got a piece from Julie Campbell. Love the colours on that one. One from Karen Jackson. Quite regal. I mean, we have to send cards at certain times throughout the year. That is just sort of, for me, is a lovely sympathy card, thinking of you. Then we have another piece by Jayne, thinking outside the box, coming in from the different sides, using a lovely rainbow parchment. Then we've got a piece by Hazel. Then this is nice. This is from Jill. Sort of. So this is using the Easy Layout Groovi plates from Linda. Then this one. This is a me and Jayne plate. This is pattern building. So this is from Hazel. Then this is. I thought this one was Josie, because we've got Josie's lovely circular grids around the outside. And that one's from Julie. And then this one is lovely. This is just using the little border. So this one is from Karen Jackson. So we've got Jayne's frame around the outside, different colour parchment, and just using that lovely border as a frame filler. Clever, isn't it? So that's just a sneaky peek of some of the artwork coming up on Thursday. Then obviously on Thursday evening, you're in the shack at 7 o'clock with Barb, and continuing on with F for Fabulous Fashion. Then on Sunday, this is an infill show. So I'm doing 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock on Sunday evening. So I hope you can enjoy it, because it's Felt by Clarity. And I'm going to be putting our lovely dyes through their paces using that fantastic range of self-adhesive felt. So that's what's coming up this week. Now, do you want to see what's back in stock? I waited ages and ages and ages and ages for these. And some of these are, I'm going to bring them, oh, you probably got a sneaky peek of those. Let me just bring them in. Okay. So these are our lovely corner punches. And these two have been out of stock for mega time. I can't think of a word. So we've got number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. And we was just on the verge of, I had like a handful of those ones left. So these are great for your parchment craft, and these are great for your general paper craft, so sort of like photo corners. And this one, the team downstairs, they always call this one the Batman one, because it looks like the silhouette of Batman. So what do they look like when you punch them out? So this is the number 1, which to me is sort of like a traditional style of photo corner. Okay, so the idea is, should you use paper rather than card, is that you part. I'm going to go through this on, actually I might just do it now to show you how it works, and then I'm going to do it on TV as well. So you've got that lovely design there, and what happens is that slots inside for it to hold. So if you're doing wedding invites or party invites, a Bergamano party, then you can use those to attach maybe the RSVP. So that's number 1. Then number 2 is this one. Now, I don't know if you'll notice, but there isn't, you can see there's a different thickness of border around the outside. Okay, and they vary from corner to corner. Then we have, I think this was one of Glynis's favourite ones. This one, she'll be well chuffed that that one's back in stock. So that's number 3. Then we've got number 4. And then finally, we have number 5. Okay. So let me show you how they work, because they're not just corner punches. Okay. So what I'm going to do, let me grab. Okay. I'm going to go for this one. I'm going to go for Glynis's favourite. Let's pop that to one side. I'm going to bring a white piece of paper in, because what I'm going to do to start off with is I need, this is my back. Okay, so this is going to be the first. So I'm using black card. So what you do first, you can see it's got a lovely sort of wing shape to it. Okay, so you take your card or your paper, whichever you want to, and you push into the corner so that there's no movement. If I hold it like, you can see it's moved away. So don't, what you do is you literally push straight into that corner. And while that's in place, ready for the crunch. Listen to that crunch. Okay, so now look, you've got a lovely decorative corner. Okay, so you're not restricted. The only restrictions you have is the size of paper or artwork you're doing. So you could use it for any size whatsoever. So say, for example, this is my piece of artwork. Now, it's entirely up to you, but my suggestion would be, if this was my parchment artwork, okay, say this was this one here that we're working on, and I wanted to use the photo corners to attach it, I would take a piece of copy paper the same size as the piece I want to mount. Okay, so what you do is you pop that in there like so, and can you see it's a very thin border. Okay, and the best way of doing this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in, I don't want to cut onto my large mat. I have one of our A4 black mats, and I use this just for cutting on. Okay, because if you've got your black mat, okay, I've got one for cutting and one for colouring, because if you cut into it and then you're colouring on card or on paper, when you're colouring in, it can pick up the texture of your mat. So I always have one just for cutting. Okay, also in the Pergamano cell. Just saying, if you want to replace your existing one. Then I'm going to take our Pergamano ruler that has, and this was one of the best ideas, well, not best, this is one of the brilliant ideas that Barb came up with. Okay. So it's called Groovi Grip, and it's non-stick. It's like a vinyl. And what we're going to do now is, I definitely need my glasses for this. So, Sue, if you're, I'm going to ask this question, I know the answer. So the punches are back in stock on both the Clarity website and the Pergamano website. If you go to the Clarity website, they're $7.99 plus club discount. If you go to the Pergamano website, they're 30% off. And I think that's about £5.40 or £5.39 or something. So yeah, Sue said definitely cheaper on the Pergamano website. So if you've been waiting for these punches, or even if you haven't been waiting, first time you've seen them, then go and celebrate the party. It's like the Smurf window stickers you used to get with fuel. Oh yeah, I had loads of those, and I had the little characters as well. Okay, so what I'm doing, this is the steel edge part of the ruler along here. Okay, and so if I was to line this up over the top like so, okay, it just happens by coincidence that the border I need is this little border here is the same thickness as the metal inlay on the ruler. Spooky, I know. Okay, so I'm going to turn my ruler to this side, and what I'm doing, I'm using the grid lines to line up my piece of artwork to make sure that it's straight. Okay, let's make sure the paper's straight first, or my piece of artwork, like so. So that's nice and straight. That comes in over there. Okay, that's like that. And then I'm going to take a craft knife. Okay, now there's no rules to say that you have to cut your card or paper with one pass of a craft knife. Okay, so what I'm going to do is keep going over it. You know how we were talking about using the Groovi tool if you haven't got the pressure in your hand? Okay, it's the same thing. You can go very light. It'll take longer, obviously. The other option is to use a paper trimmer. So I would sort of mark it and then get a sort of do it by eye. So then that one is going to go like so. So if, for example, you're going to be doing a lot of toppers, this particular size, okay, what you can do is create a template. So you know that you could cut your background to size and that you haven't got to, so you could have like a stash of backgrounds pieces that you can just jump to every single time. Okay, I think I went a bit wonky there. So now I'm going to go back to my, which one am I using? Where's my punch? There's my punch gone. So we're going to push into the corner, crunch, turn it round, crunch, turn it round, and crunch. Moment of truth. I would have to use really thick card, wouldn't I? Your parchment wouldn't be as rigid as this stencil card that I'm using, but I just thought it was a great way of just the black on the white. So now I have my parchment carefully attached. Okay. If it buckles slightly, then just take this out and just trim it down a sliver. Okay. So that's how that works. Okay. And I know we get many questions. Okay. Because obviously there's no debris on the table, is there? All of the waste is stored in the little bin underneath. Okay. So what you do is you hold it so that the arrow is pointing away. You see that little arrow there? and it's like nodular. And what you do is you take your thumb, press down, and it slides out. Okay, and then all of your waste is stored in there. Okay, so now you can see how that looks. Okay, but this is how you can then turn that corner into a border. So, for example, if I take a white piece of card, I'm going to start in the middle and I'm going to punch. Okay, empty the bin. Then I'm moving. See, that's where it was there. So I'm now going over. And what I want to do, see the point here and the point on there, I want to sort of match those up. Put my glasses on. Okay. So that goes like so. Punch across, slide along. Like that. So what I tend to do is create like a template. Okay, so depending on the size of card. Now I find it, I was going from the middle outwards, middle-ish, but then I find it hard going from there to my left. So all I'm going to do is turn it over and go that way. Okay. So now we have a lovely decorative border. So you could create a lovely border and then just cut it to size, but it's also a lovely way of attaching your work as well, because what you could do, this could go underneath. So it could also act as like a pocket as well. So you glue down there. And you can do that with all of it. I mean, obviously the straight one is just going to give you a straight line. The number 2 will give you that lovely sort of curved effect. Okay. And then obviously I'll show these on TV on Thursday as well. So a corner punch then becomes a border punch. Okay. And because they've only just come back in stock, I'm going to have a play with them today and tomorrow whilst prepping for the TV shows. So we've got some lovely little bits of, so we can do like a demo on them. But you can see how easy it is to do. And it gives a lovely finish to your artwork. Okay, so that I thought was definitely worth showing you today, because say they've taken ages and ages and ages to come in stock. And I know, say, many of our friends at home struggle to get the back off or the bottom off. So all you do is then if I just pop this one back in and it clicks, you see. So you press down. So it's always best to have it facing you. Press down and away. And then when you come to reposition it, if you, I don't know if you can see, let's have a look. There's like 2 little slots either side. And there's nodular parts that sort of stick out. See that? So all you do is you line that up like so. That goes back in. Clunk, click. Excuse me, sorry. And then it's good to go again. And you'll get different bits of waste depending on the design. So, I mean, if you're that way inclined, you could use the waste. Oh, look, it looks like a rain cloud. That's quite, there we go, look. There's that cloud. It looks like the weather sign, doesn't it? It's raining. It's raining. Where's Mo? Mo, what can you see there? See now, all I can see now. Where we're going. Hang on. There we go. That's my drawing skill. A smile. But yeah, you can use that, and you can use, I mean, the border, you just have to play around. So you can sort of see, I mean, I will sort of create some templates and stuff like that just on copy paper. Don't go to your cardstock, just take some copy paper and just play. And then what you can do, so for example, I know it's, if I take that one into the corner first, like so, okay, and then take the base off, and then let's have a look. So I'm sort of, what am I doing? I haven't pushed it all the way in. This might look rubbish. See, because when I do a straight line, I'm going straight up against the back, whereas this one, I'm sort of doing it by eye, so I don't know if it's going on straight. Not bad. But what you could do, you could have this on there. See, I mean, you wouldn't pop that onto there. That's a bit of a waste. But you can see how you can create a frame as well. So you could do a complete square, not just a, I could do probably a whole hour just on punches. See, because if you then chop that off like so, so let's just do that, do that. So now you've got a lovely decorative edge down the edge of your cards as well. So you could attach that. So say this is your card blank. So you can pop that down the edge, have it overlapping. There's hours and hours of play just on the punches. So I hope you've enjoyed today's session. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm sure the weather made a difference, making you stay indoors. Jayne can see a flying saucer over my face. Flying saucer. Oh, over my face on here. Oh, yes. I'm looking at it. Yeah, look, there's, oh, look, he looks angry now. And there's the flying saucer. He's being invaded. So don't forget, Thursday, Create and Craft, 8 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 4 o'clock. Thursday evening, back in the shack with Barb at 7 p.m. and Gracie. Fabulous fashion. Then obviously you've got Barbara's blog throughout the week. And then on Saturday and Sunday, you've got the Clarity Matters blog. Then on Sunday, 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock, Felt by Clarity. And don't forget the Pergamano party. And if you spend a certain amount, you get a freebie or 2. So thank you as always to Sue for all her help. The lovely design team as always in the room helping out. Lovely to have their company as always. And I will see you next week for another episode of Groovi Tuesday. Take care, everybody. Stay indoors. Don't go outside. That wind is absolutely howling. So take care now.